Good morning, everybody, and this is a second part to what we were talking about earlier about the Old Testament versus the New Testament. We'll edit this in probably and put with the video because there's a lot of people who talk about, well, Christians nowadays want to have guns and will offer basically to use the gun to protect their lives and the property. And you're telling me that Jesus said differently. So why are Christians doing this? The answer is I'm going to answer it biblically. What people do, that's pretty much between them and God. But I'm going to answer this from the Jesus' standpoint. The only in the New Testament that I'm aware of, the only example of hand violence was after Jesus talked to the disciples and he sent them out saying, "Go." And the disciples went out and he said, "Take nothing with you. Do not take food, do not take clothing, do not take water, but let the people take care of you. Let God take care of you. Let God provide for you." And they did. And they came back and Jesus said, you had plenty of everything, didn't you? You had protection. You had clothes. You had water. And the people took you into their homes, didn't they? And they said, yes. So this was before Jesus went to the cross and he allowed them to have their swords back. That was the weapon that was used a lot in the lands where this all took place over in Eastern. And the only example of violence was when Peter took out his sword and when they come to arrest Jesus and he cut off the ear of the servant the centurion, I think, who was going to arrest Jesus. And Jesus told Peter to put his sword away, that those who live by the sword shall die by the sword. And if you read in the New Testament, that was the only place that I know of where there was actual physical violence, and Jesus did not condone it. He condemned it and made a statement: those who live by the sword shall die by the sword. So people who decide to want to take somebody's life who comes into their home, they need to think that through, because if we go by the standards of Jesus, could that be murder before it ever has taken place physically? Did they murder people in their heart? Something to think about. And if that's the case, then do people need to have their eyes opened to what is my heart saying when I say these things? Am I speaking death by my tongue, or am I speaking life with my tongue? Have I committed murder in my heart before it ever happens? This facet alone makes abortion completely between the physical murder and between even thinking about aborting, makes it stand against the creator of the heavens and the creator of all things, because the Bible is the written word of God, and Jesus was God and is alive today. And those are the laws that we as believers become judged by, and those are the laws eventually that all mankind will stand before on that day. So I hope this helps bring a little more clarity. People tend to sometimes do stuff that out of not understanding or not moved far enough in their understandings, and need to evaluate and research and trust God, So God bless everybody, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.